Hello everyone, this is Lucas, and today I am doing a Samsung battery hack. I came up with this idea because I had a whole bunch of lithium-ion batteries at my disposal. I started to build a battery pack for an e-bike here, and I was getting a lot of these batteries from friends when I asked them for lithium-ion batteries that they had kicking around the house, and I got a whole bunch of them here from old phones, and I'm going to show you a process I figured out on how to rewire these things to make them useful rechargeable battery. I didn't see any warnings on this pack that I couldn't hack it or do whatever I wanted to do with it, so I apologize to Samsung if there's something like that, but there was nothing on the battery saying I couldn't, so I did. Don't do this at home. This is one of these don't do as I do videos. I was able to pull this off, but lithium-ion batteries are dangerous and you really have to follow steps to make sure everything is safe before you can come up with this final product here, which I deem safe for my own personal use. I'm going to be using these to run Arduino Nanos, so hopefully that works out for me. Haven't got to that point yet because I haven't soldered the Nanos into the dev board yet, but yeah, this is what these are going to be for. So just to get down to it very simply, Samsung batteries at the top all have these little pads, and each one of these pads, if you can see here, this camera doesn't like to focus. See, you have positive, negative. So this one here's a negative, that one there's the positive, and the other two don't matter. It's only the positive and negative terminals you have to worry about. And they have this plastic shroud around the top. I'll show you here, and actually you can peel it off. Oh, this one doesn't come so good. Oops. Sorry about that. Anyways, this one peeled off really easy just with my fingers. And as you can see, I pulled off this plastic shroud, the black plastic shroud here, and exposed the charging board right there. And you just pull back the tape a little bit. And what that'll do is it'll get everything out of your way so that you can very carefully put some electrical solder just on the negative and positive terminals of the battery. And what I just used some simple electrical solder from Princess Auto and a very, very, very pointy tip soldering iron board from my friend of mine. It has to have a pointy tip because you need to be able to just touch those tiny little points. You need to get your gob of solder only on the pad that you're soldering the wire to. The wire has to be exactly parallel with the plate. You don't want them touching the wire, touching anything else. And you want to tin your wire first so you have no loose strands that could possibly jump across the different pads and short out your battery. I used just regular, I think it was 22 gauge wire, 22 or 16, I'm not really sure. I think it's 22. Small, anyways, not very big. Once you have those soldered into place, and it was tricky. I'm pretty good at soldering, so trying to solder to these little pads was tricky, but it's not impossible. And if you do get a little bit of solder and flux in between the pads, you can just scrape it off with a little tool. And then after I had everything soldered in place, I took some tuck tape, just red tuck tape. You can also use 3M tape. 3M makes a good red tape. And I made a little cup. You see, I just put the tape around the top. I made a cup, and you can see the pads down there on the bottom. Now once the wires are soldered, like this one here, this is the bottom. Once the wires are soldered in, you put your cup, and then you fill up the cup with a little bit of 2-part epoxy right over top of the terminals, and then just seal off the tape like that. And then inside here, all your terminals will be protected. There isn't any chance of them getting bumped or shorting out or whatever else. And then I put this extra piece of tape along the top here to run the wires so that they wouldn't be pulling against anything else, just themselves at the top. Little tip here, when you're doing positive and negative wires on DC circuits, make your wires different lengths for your connections. I know that sounds weird, but I saw this electrical boom guy on YouTube, and he's always shorting things out. And the reason why is that if you, I think anyways, if you have your wires, your positive and negative wires the same length, they can touch each other easier. Whereas if they're not the same length, they pass by each other, eliminating the chance of accidental shorts quite a bit. Just a little tip I've learned over the years. You can do whatever you want though. If you don't like the looks of it, there's nothing that says you have to do it my way. I'm just saying it's a good tip over there, out there for not having accidental shorts. Okay, so once you got your thing soldered, you got the pin up, you got the epoxy glue, and everything ready. I'm going to show you that I have a charged battery here. Oh, wow, sorry. Before you do any of this, this is the most important part. This is why you don't do it as I do, because Lucas forgot a step. You must take your positive and negative, meter the battery, and ensure it's dead before you work on it. Ensure it's dead before you work on it. Take a simple DC bulb or whatever it is, put your battery, I've just put mine in a vise, put 2 wires on the positive and negative and let it run a little light with a piece of tape. Let it run a light until the light was dead, and then I knew the battery was dead. I metered it, checked it, everything was good, and then I did my soldering. Do not solder these things live, and do not do this at home. This is strictly for educational purposes, this whole video. It's not to be used as a primary source of power or a power bank or anything like that. This is a hack, and it's just informational purposes and a way for people to reuse their cell phone batteries if they want to. Another little tip I'm going to give out there: when you're storing lithium-ion batteries, I always put electrical tape around the top terminals, even when not in use. And then that way, if they ever fall or get hit or whatever, because these, you know, they're easy to fall and they're not very heavy, and, you know, they're all different sizes, so they're always getting jumbled around. But having tape over top these terminals also eliminates any accidental shorts. So now I'm just going to show you that this lithium-ion battery works. I have it moretted off here. And like I said, I can take the morettes off things if my wires are different lengths, and I don't have to worry about them hitting each other and shorting out. We're going to put it on our meter. So I got to do this with, I have to hold the meter too, it's hard. Okay, yeah, you saw that 4.5 volts, let's see, no, 4.23 volts. Sorry, I got the soldering iron caught in there. 4.23 volts. There we go. So that should be enough, I hope, to power my Arduino Nano. I don't even know the power input for the Arduino Nano yet, so I may have to reduce or bump the power depending on what it is, but it should run off of that, I'm hoping. So again, this is Lucas with another DIY Don't Do As I Do at Home. If you like these videos, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't throw away your old lithium-ion batteries right away. Maybe try to get as much use out of them as you can, or try to put them towards your other DIY projects. Lithium is very dangerous. Lithium-ion batteries contain a lot of nasty electrolytes, and they should be disposed of properly. So when you're done with your lithium-ion batteries, if you're not going to reuse them, you're not going to do whatever else, make sure that they are disposed at the appropriate locations for your municipality. Here in Edmonton, there's a few places that collect them, but I just take everything to the eco station because we have such a wonderful eco station program here in Edmonton. You can just take anything in. So if you like these videos, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe.